Hello and welcome to this practice. So we're going to concentrate on one pose in this practice, and that's child's pose. So I'm going to give you ideas and suggestions of how you can get into the posture, whether you're in pain and whether you're not, and what kind of props that can be really helpful, depending upon how flexible you are, how much pain you're in. So I'm going to guide you into some different variations, using props, using your breath, and I'll just give you some pointers about how useful this pose can actually be. So we're going to just do a little bit of a warm-up first, just to get ourselves flexible and ready for the pose. So if you come into a cross-legged position, you can use a block if you need some lift in your hips. And if you're like me and you've got some painful ankles, you might want a little blanket in front as well. So get yourself set up, and then we'll come into our cross-legged position and we'll place our hands face down on the knees. So let's just ground down into the earth beneath, and a good starting point in any yoga practice is to really get yourself settled into the area that you're practicing in and into your mat. So nothing else around you can interfere, although Bonnie and Heidi will probably join us. So take your hands on your knees, drop your chin to your chest. And if you want to close the eyes, close the eyes. If you don't, there's no need to. But just start to notice your breath. So notice where you're breathing. Are you breathing into the belly or are you breathing into the chest? So breathing in and breathing out, just naturally, no need to control it, no need to force it. Just how does your breath land? Can you connect with that breath? Breathing in and breathing out. And then we'll add a little bit of a control now. So breathe in through the nose at a count of 1, 2, 3. And breathe out 3, 2, 1. On your next inhale, as you breathe in, draw yourself up, feeling yourself elongate up. And as you breathe out, try and keep that elongation in the spine and that lift. But try and push your sit bones down into the ground beneath you. Let's do that again. Inhale, breathe up. Exhale, release into the mat, grounding down into the mat and the ground beneath you. Let's do it again. Inhale and exhale. So each time you're inhaling through your breath, you're rising yourself even higher. And every time you exhale, you're grounding yourself further down. So you're breathing in and you're breathing out. If you've watched my previous video, when I talk about how to ground, how to be grounded, you can catch that up. I'll put a link in the description for you to go and watch that. It's really useful to know how to be grounded and when to be grounded. So just keep breathing. Inhale and exhale. And it's good to just use your breath in an easy pose. This is easy pose that we're sitting in. We're not actually doing anything. We're just sat here. We're just relaxing into our space, because then this sets us up for moving with breath when we do actually come into a pause. Well done. So just roll the shoulders back. And then we're going to come into our child's pose. So if you've got a block or a pillow or a blanket, I would recommend you have them with you, because you might not need them, but you might. So there's a couple of variations that I want to show you. So let's do traditional pose where our legs are together and we come forward on the mat and we come through extending the arms, and then we let the head hang. So this for me is quite contracted because of my stomach area. And if you're in pain with period pain, endometriosis pain, you're probably going to feel the same. But in certain circumstances, in certain yoga practices, it is nice just to come into this posture as we transition through into another pose, because we're probably only going to be here for a breath or two just to get stability. But if we want to really relax into the posture, really bring some energy, some chi into our lungs, into our rib cage, both front and back, it's a really nice pose to do with the legs apart. So we come into an extended child's pose where we take our toes at the back together, open up the knees, and then we come down. So we're giving our belly this space. So we come down on the mat, and then the aim is to extend arms right away from you. And there's two options. You can do a active pose where your elbows are away from the ground, and then you drop your head to the ground, or passive, where we release the elbows, release any tension in the hands, and again, release that head down. So don't worry if you can't get your head to the mat. That's why we have yoga bricks. So you can use your yoga brick to bring the earth up towards you. And again, we come down, whichever variation, active. Sometimes we may direct you to tent the fingers, press the fingertips into the earth, and draw the shoulders back. Other times we'll ask you to be relaxed and passive and allow the breath to wash over you. So I want you, from whichever variation you choose to take, I want you to come into an active child's pose. So whether you've got your legs closed or your legs open, whichever variation suits, whether you've got a brick or whether you haven't, take your variation, come down with your hands, and I want you to tent those fingers and then bring your head to the mat. And we're going to take 4 breaths, just like we did when we were sat upwards. So breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Well done. Release the hands down, but keep your elbows up. We're going to do that again. But this time I want you to take your concentration to your back ribs. So when you inhale, let's do it now. Inhale the breath. I want you to really take your focus to the back of your body. And as you exhale, I want you to relax your hips and your inner thighs. So we inhale, ribs come open. Exhale, inner thighs and your hips. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Well done. So now we're going to come into passive. So come up for a moment. Let's just bring yourself forward and let's do a little bit of a cat-cow just to release any tension. It's quite an intense pose, especially if you're not used to it and you're not used to using these muscles. So be gentle. There's no rush. It's called a practice for a reason. And then we're going to come into our yin posture now. So we're going to become very, very relaxed in the posture. So again, take your big toes together, extend your legs out, and just come back for a moment and then grab your block. By all means, if the tops of your feet are starting to feel a little bit of tension, then pop a blanket under them, make them comfortable, make yourself comfortable. And the reason I'm showing you this posture is if you're having a bad day, if you've been in pain, if you've had a headache, if you feel like your hormones are all over the place, this posture is absolutely superb. Just come onto the mat, pop a music that you like on, a nice relaxing music, and just breathe. It can do absolute wonders for your parasympathetic nervous system. I'll pop some details in the description about what that is and why it's important that you tune in to your parasympathetic nervous system. So we're going to come into this for 5 minutes. So I know that sounds a long time, but trust me, once you get into it, once you relax, you're going to love it. So we're going to come forward and you're going to pop your head on your block. So you want your forehead on the block. And the reason I want you to use your block, even if you can get your head down, is because this gives you space to breathe. It gives you access for your nose, access for your mouth. You're not putting too much strain on your neck. You're keeping your neck nice and relaxed. Let the fingers just completely relax. Elbows relax. And then let's take 3 breaths here. 3 controlled breaths. So breathing in and breathing out. And again, inhale and exhale. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. So what I want you to do now is allow your breath to just be. Open the mouth and let your tongue completely relax. Just let your tongue hang. Let your cheekbones relax. And take your attention to your third eye chakra. If you don't know what your third eye chakra is, I do have a video on that, so I'll pop a link in the description for you. But it's the area between your eyes at the bridge of your nose, which is the area that you're pressing into your block. And this is your holistic intuitive chakra. It's what makes you tick, what makes you connect with yourself, connect with your outer world. And I want you to just press into the block in that spot. And if you're relaxing your tongue, relaxing your face, relaxing your fingers, your arms, your elbows are pressing into the mat, this will start to release any trapped energy in the back of your ribs. So let your breath be steady and even. And then just listen to the music and relax. Okay, so start to deepen your breath now. This is signaling to your brain that you're going to move, and I want you to be very careful as you move. If you haven't done something like this before, then you're activating muscles and tendons and the area in the body called fascia tissue. That gets all clogged up if you've been quite sedentary. So start to deepen your breath. So breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. On your next inhale, Take your palms either side of your brick. Press them into the mat and push yourself all the way up. Keep your eyes closed and just notice how that feels in the back, in the hips. Tops of your feet might be a bit sore. And then just move from side to side. Just rock from side to side, bringing some energy into your hips, into your thighs. And then from here, press into your hands and bring yourself forward, and then bring your knees together. Come into tabletop, so hands further in front, and then tuck the toes. So you're pressing into your toes now, releasing any tension in the top of the feet. And then I just want you to come into a few cat-cows just to ease out the back. So inhale, drop the belly, move the head and look up. And exhale, round the back, tuck your head and press those hands into the mat and notice your shoulder blades. And again, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Well done. So come back onto your mat. Let's just come back onto our knees if that feels good. If you'd rather come into cross-legged position, then by all means do so. And we'll just sit, hands on knees, and just take the shoulders back, close the eyes, and notice how you feel. Do you feel warm? Do you feel any tingling sensation? Maybe pins and needles in your feet? Do you feel any aches? So this is your prana, this is your chi, your energy that you have created by breathing and moving and relaxing. Bring your palms together and let's tilt our chin down, nose towards your fingertips. And I thank you from my home to your home. Namaste. If you want to join me in the next practice, I'm going to look at butterfly, reclined butterfly, and what that means for you, what that means for your hormonal health. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you on the mat in the next episode.